Your bio is a window into your world. It's your online CV. It's your personality. It's your sales page. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to craft a bio that will immediately spark a connection with your visitors. And it's essentially that connection you need to build a fan base.
Before I get started, please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more music marketing related videos, just like this one.
I'm Rebecca Smart-Buchan, also called the Audience Queen. I'll help you find your audience one way or another. So think of your Instagram profile as your room. So when someone enters your room, you need to present yourself, right? You need to tell them who you are, and you have very little time to make an impression. And you also need to tell them where to go next and why they should, right? So 14.6 billion songs was uploaded last year on Spotify. This translates into approximately 40,000 songs per day. The market is so saturated these days. There's musicians popping up everywhere, and technology is making it so easy to create music. Imagine when AI is coming into place now, when music creation is about to get way easier. So in a market that's extremely saturated right now, how do you stand out? Well, it starts with your presentation of yourself, right? And that is essentially your bio. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a perfect Instagram bio. But in order to do that, we have to take a step back and we have to start with your bigger bio. And that is the bio that you have on your website or your Spotify. And then I'm going to show you how you can then translate this bio into Instagram. Because essentially your Instagram bio is just a different format of this bio. And did you know that the About You page is the second most visited page on a website? Doesn't matter if it's for a business or a musician. The About You page is important. And this is where you present yourself and your values, right? But more importantly, you need to present yourself and tell them what's in it for them. Why should they care? So the first thing that I want you to do is to view this video. And this is Simon Sinek's TED Talk. And it's 15 minutes of your time, and it's going to be well worth your time. But what Simon Sinek is giving us is a perfect template of how to present yourself. So Simon tells us that people do not buy into what you do, they buy into why you do it, your purpose behind. So a perfect example of this is Lady Gaga. So she's been preaching to the outcasts, the ones that feels that they don't fit in. And she's expressing this through her different creative formats, whether it's her music, a song, an album, whether it's what she wears on the red carpet, or if it's through TV or films. Her value and her purpose translates through these. So these are just different formats to communicate it, right? So if you're able to communicate your value and your purpose through your creativity, you will then immediately start engaging with them on an emotional level. And you'll start building trust. Or as Simon Sinek says, you'll tap into the limbic brain, which is essentially the part of the brain that builds trust and loyalty. Think of people queuing for a show for several hours just to stand close to their idol. They do this because they have an emotional connection. And it's essentially this emotional connection you want to spark when someone enters your room. Another great example of this is Travis Scott, where he also communicates to the outcasts of the youth, where he gives them an outlet to be angry and to let out their energy. And his music is just a format of this, right? His shows, his festival, they're all formats of this and arenas for them to come and let this energy out. They do this because he's sparked that emotional connection with them and they resonate with his message. So I want you to then, of course, step one, watch the video, because this video will give you a very specific template of how to create a bio. And it will tell you the first part is the why, and this is what that looks like. The second part is the how, and that is what that looks like. And the last part is the what, and that is what that looks like. And he'll give a few examples, anything from Apple to Martin Luther King, of how a presentation like this is done. And then you can take that format and then put in your own content. And then you have a pretty long, good bio that you put into your website and into your Spotify. So after you're done with your long bio, you then need to reformat your bio into your other channels, because all the channels, they have different formats and also different purposes. So I'm going to talk about specifically Instagram here and how you then turn your meaty, longer bio into an Instagram bio. And also the specific elements that needs to be in place to, one, spark that connection, and second, get them to make an action, which is below is the bio link. So the Instagram bio has two goals. The first goal is to introduce yourself. This is tell them who you are, what you're about. The second goal is the call to action. Tell them where to go next. So you need to tell them, give them some value and spark a connection before you tell them what to do, right? So the bio, what's located right below the bio is the bio link. And this is very important real estate, because this is actually one of the only exits out of Instagram before you reach the 10,000 mark of followers. Then you can also exit through the story. So the fact that this bio link is one of the only exits makes it very important. That's why you need to allocate part of your bio, the real estate there, into the bio link and telling them what to expect when they click on the link. What value are they getting there, right? And why they should care, more importantly. So you have limited characters to play around with. So you need to do a lot in a short amount of time. So now we know we're going to split it into two. So let's take a closer look at the first part, the introduction, right? So by telling someone that you're a DJ or a musician or a music producer, you're generalizing yourself. You're just telling them that you're one like everyone else. There's nothing special about you. So when you introduce yourself, try to be very specific. And a good way to do this for a musician is to specify the genre. And the more specific, the better. You need to stop trying to appeal to everyone. Stop trying to be like everyone. And you need to find the weirdness in you and present the weirdness, because that's what people are going to identify with. Just take a look at Black Madonna. That's a great example of a good introduction to her room, and you immediately get an idea of what type of content to expect. So she sparks that connection right away, and it's a good way. She's presenting herself very well. And the way that she's presenting herself, you immediately see her identity, her values, and also her content on her profile. So now we're finished with the introduction part. Let's move over to the call to action. So the whole goal of the call to action is to get them to click the bio link, which is below the bio. So the bio link is actually very valuable real estate on Instagram, because it's one of the only exits out of the platform. So up until you reach 10,000 followers, you can only exit the platform through their IGTV caption and other limited areas. So let's hope Instagram will open this up more, but for now, it's limited. So the bio link is important real estate. So the bio, the second part of the bio, have to tell them what to expect on the next step. What are they going to get when they click? Where are you going to take them? More importantly, why should they care? So this real estate is going to trigger something, hopefully emotions, because emotion will trigger action, and you want them to make an action because you want them to click, right? So you need to give them a reason. Here are some great examples of some call to actions for musicians. You had Jori Oleslagers. You have follow the fish. Fisher, you forgot your intro, by the way. And you have Trizzy Track. Some great call to actions where they present the value of what to expect on the next step. See also how Trizzy Tracks represent himself as the finger drummer, which really represents his content, his style, and his identity as well. See, the more specific, the better, right? So other things you can include in your bio. So by branding a hashtag, you're essentially just tying some content series up to a hashtag, specific hashtag. So let's say you're running a series of maybe some mini videos that you want to share through a series of time. You might then want to brand these with a branded hashtag, and a good way to present this in the bio, because then they can immediately click on that hashtag and just see all the content displayed. So a good example here is my good friend Hump House. And if you go to his branded hashtag, which is Black History Hump, you'll see all the content that he's curated in this series. Another way to brand a hashtag, and you can also create tour hashtags. Let's say you're out on a tour. You can then create a branded hashtag so both you can upload your content and they can upload their content, the people that are at the shows and that are, joining in. And for someone that's interested to going to your show, if they click on your tour hashtag and they see all this content, it might make them want to go, right? So when someone goes to your profile, they can immediately go and start scrolling your content, which is good if you have good content, but you want them to read your bio. So if you insert some emojis here, you then actually spark that attention, that eye's attention, and they will immediately look up there because you have the emojis up there, because it's more live than just text. So it's a strategic way to get the attention of the eyes, right? Another reason why you should include emojis is it brings personality to your bio. By doing some very specific and fun emojis, you can really show your personality also through emojis. And a third reason is that emojis like arrows and hands and stuff like that is a good way to trigger action as well. So the second part of the bio is the call to action, right? So it's good to mark that and to decorate that call to action with maybe some hands down to allocate that, this is where you can find it. Another thing to include in your bio is sister accounts, if relevant. So let's say you're part of a group like Dimitri Vegas and like Mike. So they have their Instagram profile that shows themselves as a duo. But then, of course, in the bio, they present the individuals as well, because you want them, if they like what they see, you want them to move over to the different worlds, because you can essentially create more value through all the different profiles. So if you're part of a duo or a group, even a producer community or something, make sure that you can then integrate into their community through this bio as well. So now we've crafted the perfect bio for Instagram. Do you know what the next step is? Is to test it, because we don't know if we crafted the perfect bio. This is just the template. This is just the format. So what you put into that format, you need to test. So a good way of testing this is to look at the analytics, and that is the website clicks. So how many website clicks did you get last week? And then test by changing your bio up, changing your call to action, see if the website clicks increases. If it increases, you have a better bio. So now I've given you a template of how to, first of all, create a long bio that you have on your website or your Spotify, and then how you then translate this into an Instagram bio. And I've told you how to create, I've shown some examples. I've shown you how to create it. I've shown you some examples. So all you have to do now is write your own bio. And if you follow my approach, if you follow my template, send me your bio. I'll take a look, I'll critique it, and I'll give you feedback. And this is going to be personal feedback directly from me. Yay!